just want to remind y'all that your support does help us stay on the air. Our largest single source of funding comes directly from our listeners. And February, the month of February, we finally it took a little bit after we went on break last year because I was deployed to support Hurricane Ida recovery in New Orleans. And so we were off the radio for a bit, and it took us a while to get all of our sponsors back up and everything, all the money coming in. But for February, we've got a bit more money coming in than going out, which is always nice. So if you want to help us stay out of the red, stay on the radio, and expand our reach, then you can support us on unionly.io/o/TVLR. That is unionly.io/o/TVLR. or patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report. But I will say, Unionly, it's a union company. They only work with unions and labor organizations, organizations like us, labor adjacent. And their processing fees are lower than Patreon. So more of the money that you send to us goes to us, and you're using a union service instead of Patreon. So that's pretty cool. So support us on Unionly. You can also find our stickers on our Unionly store. It's pretty cool. And I do also want to send a special thank you and shout out to one of our longtime listeners, Joe Marshall. He has been a supporter of the program basically since we started, almost 2 years ago now. That's crazy. Almost 2 years ago, we started the program, and Joe Marshall has been listening to us most of that time, and we really appreciate his support of the program. He is just a fantastic union member. The ideal of kind of what you want from somebody who is, who's been in the movement, who's now retired, and he's still doing everything that he can to support working folks. I was talking to him the other day, and he's older, he's retired, he can't get around it as good as he used to, but he was talking to me about how he was giving his congressman hell about not supporting the miners. And you love to hear that from folks who they've put in their time, and by all rights, they've done enough, and they're still doing it. Joe Marshall is a great brother, and we appreciate his support of the show.
Those retirees who are still feisty and willing to, show up are worth their weight in gold. And those of us who are younger have a responsibility to try to learn from these folks. They've been there. They've literally paid the dues.
Absolutely.
They've seen the fights. So yeah, thanks, Joe, and to all of you who are retired, who are still active in the movement, doing what you can to make the world a better place.
Yeah. And if you're a member of a union, you should get your local to sponsor the show. You can reach out to me for more details on that. And by the way, have y'all noticed the new music? Like, how cool is that? Jules Taylor has put together some clips of Southern Alabama labor, some newsreels, some stuff like that, with his own original music in the background, with Florence Reed or Reese. I think it's Reed. She was the person who wrote Which Side Are You On? And that's a recording of her singing it at like a UMWA convention, I think. So that's really cool. A lot of neat stuff going on there. Jules Taylor is the producer of the Working People podcast, and we could not thank him more for doing this music for us. We are really happy with it. We think it's really cool. And it's pretty neat having our own music instead of, the music that we had was our own, but it was just something that like David and I put together. We're not professionals. We're not like fancy people like Jules is. So, so we appreciate that.
Support for this program comes from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 136 out of Central Alabama. Learn more at IBEW136.org.